we're going to be breaking down one of the best low ticket funnels currently on the market. This almost has 100,000 buyers, and it's $27. This is appealing to cold traffic, and they're absolutely printing cash. So if you're a marketer, if you want to be a marketer, if you're looking to build a certain funnel, this is something I would mimic, because they have put millions of dollars behind this, and everything is laid out because they have tested it. So let's break it down from top to bottom. It's not the longest, so it's not your classic like AC funnel. It's not as long, but it is very impactful. So at the top here, we obviously have the bar, exclusive to US. So immediately we're qualifying our target demographic. Now the ads are probably only targeted in potentially the big four, the big five, but it is exclusive to the US. So there's probably a batch of ads that is only targeting the US. The reason they're probably doing this is because they probably have the most qualified individuals in North America. It's sales, so it's a very high aware market, very sophisticated market rather. So a lot of individuals in North America have been through sales trainings. So you want to keep targeting people who have done sales training, because obviously there is probably a hefty price point on the back end of this when they try to upsell me. So that's why this is probably there. Conversions, you can test it. They have it here. Conversions usually increase with like a phone number. This just makes it a little more sophisticated. Like, hey, there is an actual team behind this funnel here that I can call, I can talk to, I can get answers from. So usually when you do have a number, or even like an email here, you do see an increase in conversions. So working down, obviously we have trusted by. So they did update this. This was, I think, a little different before, but we have 102,000 people. The cool thing about this is, and Blake White, the VP of 7th level, this is a very clean funnel. And when I mean clean, like very compliant funnel. The claims are very clean. There's nothing here that could, get you in trouble at all. So the cool thing is when you see this trusted by, you think it's like with the stars here as well. You'd think like 102,000 people have reviewed this, like have put 5 stars. That's not exactly the case. Rather, what they're saying is that 102,000 people have went through it or have purchased this thing, and then we're just gonna add the stars here and put some faces here. But the human psychology, you would read this and say, oh my goodness, there's a ton of social proof here with 5 stars, all this, and then these faces here. I like what they do here. Again, it's very diverse. So, if you're an individual, if you're a solo individual, it applies here. If you're female, here. If you're a family individual, you can be this one. If you're a business person, you can be this one. So they target a lot of people, with these basically these profile pictures, showcasing a wide audience. Okay, and then obviously just your selling power certificate. I'm not too sure what Selling Power magazine is. Obviously, it's pretty prominent, probably in the selling niche, but they tend to be top rated. So again, a lot of social proof from the start, which is fantastic, and then how to quietly outsell your competition in 2025, which is just rolls off the tongue very well. And then your classic, without lowering your status or resorting to high pressure sales tactics. So a lot of people, they either get trained on how to they either get trained on how to sell with high pressure sales tactics, or it's you do tend to lower your status. Nonetheless, again, this resonates, and they've tried and they've tested this headline. Okay, your headline is the 80/20. And really, when I first come onto this page, again, everything is laid out, because if you were to get a heat map, like from Hotjar or whatever, 100% are going to land here. And we're going to break down this. But it's very important to realize everything they have here is here for a reason. So then you have your VSL, which again is 11 minutes. So it's not a long VSL. Again, depending on the market awareness, you can go a lot shorter if they're hyper aware, because they already know all the sales tactics that you're going to be throwing at them through the VSL. So rather, you just take the contrary approach, you take the contrast, and you just make a shorter VSL because they're already aware of everything that basically you're going to be saying. Okay, so it's only 11 minutes. Right, so it's not super short. It's not 5 minutes, but it's not, again, super long or medium size. 11 minutes. You know, you're going to go through some points, probably your challenges, your pain points, how we do things a little different here, X, Y, and Z, your classic VSL. And then secure your physical copy. Now, one thing to note is that you're obviously probably going to do a digital thing. It's easier, it costs less money. They're doing a physical copy. The physical copy the physical copy aspect of things makes it most likely actually convert a little higher as well, because people do like to feel stuff. They like to have tangible items, and they have that dopamine rush. That's how Amazon so good at it. They have that dopamine rush when you actually are looking forward to getting something in the mail. So actually having a physical copy of something you can ship. Russell Brunson created this, right, made popular the free shipping book, because people like to receive things. Next, get your copy of the NLPQ Black Book of Questions. Now, this is a photo. They use ClickFunnels for this, plus free shipping and handling. Awesome. So, really, it's only the $27. And the design's fantastic. I mean, if we just have the designer here, so we have the big banner, trusted by, again, sales professionals in 161 different industries. That comes up a few times during this funnel, but that's super impactful. And again, it looks like you're getting a lot. So they break it down, but you're getting a ton of stuff for only $27. And more importantly, here they illustrate it 115 pages, industry-specific examples, plus 5 free bonuses. So they outline it accordingly. And again, 115 pages. Wow, I'm getting so much for only $27. Industry-specific examples, which is awesome. And then 5 free bonuses. And then, as you can see here, only $27 was originally $97. So you're saving $70. Now, the cool thing to note here with pricing, they did try pricing. Now, Blake specifically said that originally it was $97 before he came on. But depending on economics and where your market's at, the reason they went with $27 because it was like a book. Books, depending where you're getting your books from, they typically are around, $20 to $40 to $50 maybe, kind of the average. So 27 plus you get all these other bonuses, kind of makes sense, right? That's where they kind of came up with this $27 mark. But more importantly, what they did do as well is that this 27, so when you put zeros, so when you do like a $70, like 70.00, it makes the number look bigger. So, for instance, what you want to do, and probably why they only put 27, is because it makes the number look smaller, right? So the 97 could have been 97.00 to make it seem bigger. And that's why they probably did it here with the 70, because it showcases that you're saving a bigger amount. So whenever you're saying it's only for X, just say $19. Say $21, right? Don't say $21.97. It makes it actually look a little bigger, and that's sometimes that can cut conversions. And pricing is one of those things that can either move the needle, and you can test pricing here and there. But they have $70 off, and then save $70 today. Get the Black Book of Questions now, plus receive instant access. So again, they're doubling down. If you missed it here, you get it here, plus in green, plus free shipping. One thing to note is this is opt-in. So very unique. It's opt-in. You may even just lower conversions because I have to put in my opt-in first right at the start. So without me even pressing anything, I have to opt-in. Now this is just because you're gonna weed out the tire kickers, but also the people that are very interested are obviously gonna put in their information and probably ascend. And then just send me my book. So when it comes to CTAs, very clear on what's happening, but also it's not just like you want it to be like action, like it's taking, like it's my journey, like with weight loss. It's like start your journey today, start your journey now, lose 15 pounds today, or whatever. But it's got to be like action. It's got to be verbs. It's got to be we're doing something, right? Then obviously your classic, what payments we take, availability in stock, some scarcity there. And then 30-day money back guarantee, and then obviously your encrypted checkout at the bottom here. And then we have our first testimonial, very big. Um, this is truly the best sales material ever put together. Thank you, Seventh Level team. So again, 100% of people are going to land on this page, and then the drop off is probably tremendous. If you really look at any heat map, it's probably about 100%, and then we start going to 80%, 70%. Most people are probably only landing to this page, right? You're only going to scroll about 1 to 2 scrolls, and then you're probably going to hop off. So this here again is super dialed in. They've spent a lot of money optimizing for this page, and they're doing certain things because it tends to work. And if you look actually throughout the funnel, they keep it very compressed, the margins or the padding, I believe it's called, right? So we don't have much information out here. We don't have much information out here. It's really just about maybe a foot, it's very compressed together, so it just reads well, right? So again, we're keeping very small padding because it just reads a lot quicker. Now moving down again, and something Alan Sultanic in the NHB group, what he says is who else has done it is super important right now, specifically with kind of being in a trust recession. Who has done it? So trusted by Fortune 500 companies, and then we kind of ClickFunnels, massive. Right, we have all Serhant, we have all these companies that have joined it, and then some of the top brands out of hundreds, right? So they've done this before. A ton of companies you probably look up to if you're in the space have done it. So it just instant credibility, and obviously you just want to front load it like they're doing here. So you're front loading social proof, you're front loading it here, you're front loading it here, which is massive, right? So again, when you're designing funnels, who else has done this? Who else has taken who else has gone through your funnel? Who else has taken your course? X, Y, and Z is so important, especially right now in today's market. These arrows tend to do well. You'll see them in a lot of funnels. Basically, just again, you're guiding the reader down, right? So you don't even have to think. It says, "Oh, okay, perfect," right? It's very quick, very easy. Again, they don't want you to decide right here, so that's why they have these arrows just pointing you down. Hey, there's more information I want you to consume before a CTA. Okay, if this wasn't here, then maybe you'd get slightly stuck, but it's just an instant thing where the mind, oh, perfect, okay, I'm gonna scroll down here. Then we have a what's inside. So again, you're gonna have your bullets, you have a photo, perfect, someone holding it. Again, it's a physical copy, another testimonial. And then again, yes, I'm in Ship Me My Copy Now. Okay, ship me a copy now. And instantly unlock 5 close rate boosting bonuses. Now, who doesn't want that, right? So it's like ship me a copy now, plus instantly unlock 5 close rate boosting bonuses. Specifically in the sales industry, you want your close rate increasing. So they attack along unlock, right? So everyone wants to unlock everything. Unlock 5 close rate boosting bonuses. And again, you're gonna see this tagline pop up a lot, right? So it's spiral bound. Again, it's physical, 115 pages, industry specific examples. Oh my goodness, it's gonna have my industry in it. I can increase my close rate. There's 5 of these bonuses, and ultimately, again, you're gonna see this guarantee come up again and again. It's backed by our guarantee. So if you're not pleased within 30 days, message us and return every penny. And this here really sells the guarantee. You'll even keep the book. Okay. So you'll see that a lot. The reason they're doing that is because now everyone's kind of used to the guarantee. So you just throw an extra little, I don't know, extra little sauce on, and you'll get to even keep the book. So at that point, you're like, okay, I'll invest the $27 in. It's a guarantee for 30 days. If I don't like it, I can still keep this book, but I can get my money back. Okay. And I think what that does is, even if you don't like the book, because even people, some people say that, well, it doesn't really matter because if I'm returning it, I probably don't want the book. But I think part of the mind goes, okay, maybe I'll come back to it one day, right? Like everyone, there's so many of us that are just basically like saving documents in our computer or saving certain docs, folders, files because of that one day. Like I might need it one day. And so that's why they'll say, hey, you'll keep the book and just we'll refund you. So, right. So, again, there's a pattern to this. So, what's inside it? Okay. So, sneak peek, what's inside? Here's a breakdown. So, you go inside, breakdown of it. Again, very beautiful layout here. Now we start actually seeing what's inside the book, which is perfect. They underline certain areas. Again, you're flying through this. Like, not everyone's going to read this. Some people are, some people aren't. But it's important where you want the eye to sit, right? So, philosophy of NEPQ, interesting. In-depth breakdown. Okay, maybe I see this here. Awesome. Psychological reasons, perfect, right? So, whatever you want the eye to sit on or read, just highlight it over. Again, the color contrast is really good. And then ultimately, I have yes, I'm in, ship me a copy now. Same CTA. And these CTAs are big, right? They're big, and CTAs, they're very contrasting. The colors, right? So purple and orange, I believe, are, if you look, they're basically on the opposite side of um, of the the wheel, of the color wheel, I think. Um, and again, we have this here, availability, and then nice and big 30-day money back guarantee. One thing you can take away from this is whenever there's a CTA, you're going to see a few things, right? Few common patterns. You're going to see, okay, what basically are you getting in a nutshell? Availability and stock, perfect. Kind of scarcity, right? Because if it is in stock, I don't know how much more of it will last. And then ultimately your guarantee, right? So big, bold, again, trusted by here, money back badge, and then we have our get your money back guarantee. Okay, you're going to see that time and time again with the CTA. And then when you order today, so here we go, right? So the viewers going, what's inside? Interesting. This is still very broad, not too specific. Okay, real world script examples, right? And then I'm coming down here, breakdown, interesting. That's just the book. And then when you order today, all right, unlocks. Here we start talking about the bonuses. So I'm interested now. All right, bonuses, perfect. Again, very well designed. Again, bonuses, interesting, 5 of them. And then I come down here, right? So for rapid skill development, awesome. You're going to highlight certain things. Photo, perfect. So you receive the most suitable training for your industry. Now the implementation call, I believe they did a role. Blake was saying they did a role play call before, but it was just too hard to scale because you just needed more trainers, and that's how they basically upsold you. So basically, you would just hop on with a 7th level trainer, and they would just outclass you, and then from there you'd be like, your mind would be blown, and then you just basically want to ascend so that you could learn those skills. He said it was a little too hard to scale, so now it's just an implementation call, which is a little different. But the implementation call as a bonus sells very well. If you were going to do a bonus, so these bonuses, right? So you have your 3D accelerator, so it's quicker. It's basically like faster. There's a few common things you see with bonuses, but again, it's like quicker, perfect. These are fast, hard-hitting trainings. I can learn quicker, for rapid skill development, right? So you receive the most suitable training for your industry, implementation call. Then you have your ditch the pitch workshop, leave the stone age of selling behind, right? And then diffusing objections. Obviously, objections are super common in sales. You want to learn those. And then the call vault. A lot of people, you will see these too, where it's like, hey, you can have kind of behind the scenes calls that you didn't go to, you didn't have access to. We'll give you a lot of those. So that's kind of the bonuses. Again, margins or the padding, it's all very quick to read, perfect, nice color contrasting, beautiful photos and design. And then we have a case study here, installing the NEPQ methodology, Google sales team, right? So again, more social proof. Just make it very bold, perfect. Keep going down. All right, how does it work? Perfect. So by this point, right? By this point, I kind of understand what's inside of it, what's kind of the breakdown on a very high level, or just an overview rather. Okay, I understand I get these 5 bonuses, but as a trainer, you're like, how does this all kind of work, right? So it's like I get this whole thing. I get I understand I get the 5 bonuses. What's inside the breakdown of it, and then we start digesting. Okay, how does this actually work? Because it's intriguing, right? The top half is like intriguing. You're trying to sell me on this thing. It's intriguing, but really, like, what's the logic behind these things? What's the logic behind any PQ? And then we start diving into that. Okay, and again, yes, I'm in. Ship me my copy now. And again, the same thing. You can basically just copy and paste this underneath each CTA. Okay, and then how will any PQ help me individually, right? You're looking to buy it for yourself so that you can increase your sales. How will this help me? And then what they do is they specifically start suggesting pages, right? So this is when you can actually start seeing the book. You're like, okay, on page 17 I can get this. On page 33 I can get this. So it actually starts becoming. They start seeding the buy, and then right they show it as well. So you start mentally picturing you at your desk potentially rating this thing. Um, you start and again they start pushing me down the buying spectrum. Okay. Then obviously just a classic objection. Does it work in my industry? Of course, it works in every industry. And then just some more social proof here a little bit. Interestingly enough, Blake was saying that, and they don't know if it actually increased, decreased, or just it was neutral, but there's not many testimonials in here, right? So you'll see one here, you'll see, one maybe up there, some here, but there's no like videos, there's no written testimonials other than just a few. Um, and they don't know how that affected the funnel. The prior funnel had a ton of them. And so, you know, um, I don't know what to say about that, but you'll realize, maybe sometimes you don't need as many testimonials or case studies as you may think, because this one doesn't have much. Right? They have social proof, yes, of course, like here, but they don't have many testimonials. So they have the photos here, and again, you're copy and paste, and then backed by our unbeatable money back guarantee. So again, you're selling this thing and you're taking the risk off the buyer. So of course, I am seeing this all the way through the funnel, but then you get to a point where I'm interested, right? So you pique my curiosity. I'm interested. I can picture potentially buying this. I can see potentially how this will help me in the real world. And then, okay, now you're going to hit me with our unbeatable guarantee. So now you're going to take the risk off of me, whether that's conscious or subconscious. But, again, here we go, right? Since you've read this far and you haven't ordered yet, I'm assuming you're interested but still on the fence. So there's something there that as a buyer I'm battling, right? I potentially don't know what that is. Obviously, that's the risk side, or that's the fear, that's the unknown, as Alan Soltanic says. But what you want to do is at some certain point, you look at a lot of funnels will have this, is you just want to call out the guarantee. And you potentially don't want to do it at the front. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But a lot of time, it's when there's enough curiosity, there's enough consumption where then you just call this out, right? And so I love what they say here. Even though this book has been tested by thousands, again, social proof. Let's take the risk off of you. There you go. And I'll take on all the risk. Okay. And then it just goes down there. One, it works. So here we go too, right? So we're just blatantly stating. One, it works. And you start getting better at sales, which means you close more deals, which means your career improves, right? So again, the tangibles, what will happen? Again, you're basically future pacing. Okay, I get this book, boom, I get result. Perfect. Okay, or 2, it doesn't work, then you message our team and you mail a refund every penny. Okay, so 20, so either, right, it's basically worst case, best case, right? So they sell, hey, your career is going to improve once you get this book, number 1, or number 2, it doesn't, you get your money back and you keep the book. So, and then they just ultimately sell it. The only possible option is you win. And And again, here's our thing. And then I like this too as well, just for the scrollers. I think this is very neat. Again, if you're building funnels, you know that if you had a heat map, no one's not too many people are going to be reading all of this. And like the flow is pretty much like that. So you see here, you read a little bit and you just start scrolling. Okay, interesting with your order today. Boom, perfect. Okay, interesting. There's 5 bonuses. Oh, there's something about Google here. Interesting case study. Wow. Okay, keep going. Okay, how does it work? Again, that's why you're highlighting certain aspects, because you're just scrolling through. And if you don't have contrast and colors, you're not going to stop. Right, okay, interesting. Yes, Minch, my copy, 30 back guarantee, nice and bold. Okay, let's do it, right? And then I'm back up to the top, right? So, interestingly enough, when I do click, I go back up to the top, okay? And I'm right here. Right. So it's you see trusted, you see this, you see this, you see this, you see this, all this stuff just by then makes me want to put in my information. But continuing onwards, I like for the scrollers because you will realize everyone's just scrolling. So they have a page, they just call it out for the scrollers. So you're just like me, right? So I'm scrolling and I'm just like this individual. Interesting, scrolling straight to the bottom. I get it, you're an ambitious sales professional who wants to cut to the chase. Here's a short summary. So a lot of people will probably end up towards this page. They'll see this again. Basically just reiterating what they did at the top, copy and pasted, change the colors, change maybe some of the copy. And then they sell you, ship my copy of the Black Book. Okay, and then obviously you end off with FAQs, just for the skeptics. And then they have this, perfect, and then the money back guarantee. Okay, so that is how, and again, if you are making a funnel, I would highly suggest, using a lot of those tactics we talked about. They are here for a reason. They are working. If it's not working, they don't have it here. And you have to, maybe we'll analyze the ads on a different video. But the ads have to have the same alignment as the funnel, right? Or the funnel has to have the same alignment as the ads. They have to all make sense. It's all just, right? It's like, it's a process, right? So you have your opening, you have the ads, and if the ads don't make sense, no one clicks over. But if the ad's selling you, let's say, cake, and they come over and it's sales training, I'm going to leave, right? So there has to be congruence, there has to be alignment between your ad. The whole thing has to make sense between your ascension path, your ad, your first click, funnel, right? Bonuses, how that all makes sense. It just has to all be aligned. It has to just make sense. So if you're looking to do a funnel, again, look at what they're doing here. It's phenomenally done. This is a beautiful, beautiful page, beautiful funnel. And it's working quite well. Okay, so hopefully you picked up a lot there. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And that's video number 2, and we'll do video number 3 tomorrow. Take care and have a great day.